My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Hugo. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I know lots of people like this movie, but I still find it to be very underrated. Like, if you look at the movies that Martin Scorsese has directed, this one doesn't get brought up enough. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorites by him. And let's get into it. Beginning with the direction, and this movie is crafted so incredibly well. The movie is beautifully shot, the visual effects look great, and the production design is just top notch. This train station is just brought to life in the best way possible. You get to know the environment, you get to know the people, and I love watching Hugo just live inside the walls, living his day to day life. It's just utterly fantastic, and I love how this movie can be tense when it needs to be. Like, he's getting chased by the station inspector, and that gives this movie some nice energy every now and again. And I just think the musical score by Howard Shaw really does elevate this movie in so many ways. Like, it just feels and looks like France in a way that very few movies do. Like, there's this one, Emile, and Ratatouille off the top of my head. And I just really love the look and feel of this movie. And I do love how different of a movie it is for him. Like, he makes lots of gangster movies, but he also makes movies like Shutter Island and Silence and The Last Temptation of Christ. And, like, this is the most different and unique movie he's directed, and he just excels in it. In fact, I kind of wish we got more movies like this from him, because you can just feel the passion he has for the story being told, and it just shows in every second of this movie. I love how it's a movie of two halves, how one half is about this kid living in the walls at a train station, and the other half is about the history of movies. And I love the curiosity, the adventure, and the mystery of the first half, but it's the second half that really, really works for me. It just takes it to the next level. And this movie completely works for me on an emotional level. Like, it is as sincere and as heartfelt as they come. This movie can also be very charming. There are some nice bits of humor every now and again. Like, sure, you get the scenes where the station inspector falls over and all that, but those conversations he has with the guy who works at the orphanage, that just cracked me up. I also love the side characters and how everyone's given a bit of depth. Like, the station inspector could have been the cliche cartoon villain, and he kinda is for the most part, but they do give him a nice redemptive arc, and there is more to the character than you might initially think. I also love those two older people who are trying to connect, but the dog keeps getting in the way. That sounds really odd if you haven't seen the movie, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a very lively movie. Well, every bit of it feels alive. It feels lived in. These characters, this environment, and it's just what I love so much about it. I also think thematically this movie is very strong, and how it explores broken people who just need love and respect, and it's also about finding purpose in one's life. There's a very lovely conversation that takes place between the two main characters about that I loved. It's about the importance of preserving films, and it just showcases the magic of cinema in a way that feels genuine. And I just love so much about the backstory we get in the latter part of the movie. I also love how it does capture that childlike wonder, that innocence, that youthfulness. You know, it just I don't know, the script completely works for me. The emotions land. The movie's incredibly well directed. I love the look and feel of it. I could have spent another hour watching this movie. It never drags for me at all, and the cast is all doing great work. Asa Butterfield, I think, does a great job carrying this movie. The moments where he has to show emotion, he really excelled at. Chloe Grace Moretz, this is one of my favorite performances from her. Okay, she had Kick-Ass, Let Me In this movie in the span of like a year and a half. Like, that is such a crazy good run. And she's like nowhere to be found now. And it's a real shame because I think she's great here. But my favorite performance in this movie is Ben Kingsley. I think this might be my favorite performance by him. And yes, I've seen Sexy Beast. I've seen Gandhi. I just love his work here. He just brings so many layers to this character, and he just completely delivers. I thought his wife, Helen McCrory, did a really great job in this movie as well. She's barely in it, but she leaves an impression. Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, does a great job at the villainous aspects of his character, but also the humanity underneath. Well, Ray Winstone is really good in the short time he's in this movie. Emily Mortimer, I think, is good. Jude Law is good in the short screen time he has. Christopher Lee. They got Christopher Lee. The Christopher Lee as a librarian. He's barely in the movie, but he's still a nice presence. And Michael Starborg, I think, gives a very underrated performance as well. Like, you can feel the passion this character has every time he's on screen, and I thought he excelled. So, I love this movie. I just think it's simply delightful. It is wonderful. It is a movie that I've only watched a few times, but my love for it has grown over the years. I see myself revisiting it plenty of times. It's one of Martin Scorsese's best, and that's why I'm giving Hugo a 9 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Hugo? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.